All right, so you guys have really sent us a fascinating one this time, WASENDER Mexico
Hmm.
software suite. And just from kind of glancing at their marketing, it seems like they're targeting entrepreneurs
Yeah.
with some pretty bold promises.
It definitely grabs your attention.
Yeah.
Just the way they present it. The software is like this one-way ticket to financial freedom,
That's right.
almost like a business in a box solution.
Exactly. Like they're throwing out these claims about 10x returns and make money in your sleep, automating your WhatsApp marketing. I mean,
Hmm.
who wouldn't at least want to explore that?
Right.
But the big question is it all a little too good to be true?
Well, that's where we come in, right?
Yeah.
Separate the hype from reality.
Exactly.
You've sent us materials before about similar software promising these huge returns, and
Okay.
we both know how those stories usually end.
Right.
So,
Let's take a closer look at this and see what this WASENDER Mexico is all about. Okay, so one of their biggest claims is that this software is 10 times more profitable than creating and selling your own courses,
yeah,
ebooks, other digital products.
right.
They even suggest you could price it anywhere from $100 to $500.
Yeah, that's a pretty bold statement,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
when you think about all the work that goes into creating a good digital product.
Right.
It really makes you wonder, are they kind of downplaying all the work that actually goes into selling software successfully?
Right. And they're really hitting hard this passive income angle, saying you can rake in cash without creating any content yourself. It all sounds very tempting.
Yeah.
Is it realistic, though?
Well, the idea of making money without having to do any work is definitely appealing to people.
Sure.
But let's be real, even reselling software takes work.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do customer support, got
Right.
to handle the marketing and the sales,
Right.
probably deal with updates and tech issues. It's not as easy as they make it sound.
And it's not just about reselling, right? They're saying there's all these amazing features that are built into the software chatbot. Bulk messaging, even a contact grabber that pulls data from groups,
Mm-hmm.
and wait for it, Google Maps. How is that even possible?
Right. Some of those features like chatbots and bulk messaging are pretty standard for marketing automation tools.
Okay.
But this contact grabber
Yeah.
thing, that
Yeah.
brings up some questions.
Yeah.
Imagine a tool that can just access people's contact info from public listings on Google Maps.
Right.
Really makes you think about the ethics,
Yeah.
and data privacy concerns.
Of course.
And not to mention, does it even follow WhatsApp's terms of service?
Oh, well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one feature we're definitely going to have to look into deeper. And they seem really proud of this contact grabber, especially in relation to their reseller model.
Mhm.
They're not just encouraging you to use WASENDER. They want you to sell it too.
Right.
And they're kind of dangling this 100% profit carrot.
Yeah, that reseller model is a key part of their pitch.
Yeah.
They're saying you can create unlimited licenses, basically just print money just selling the software.
Right.
It does make you wonder about how their business model is structured.
It sounds a little like those multi-level marketing programs,
Yeah.
the ones where you make money by recruiting other people to sell the product.
It definitely shares some similarities.
Yeah.
It's really important to be aware of the possible downsides with these kinds of business models.
Right.
One of the big red flags is that they focus more on recruitment
Yeah.
than they do on actual sales of the product.
Right. And in this case, how much support does WASENDER actually provide to these resellers?
Yeah.
Like, do they offer any training materials?
Right. Do they give them marketing materials or guidance?
And, they only had 106 visits to their website.
Wow.
If it's so easy to resell and make a fortune, shouldn't that number be way higher?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
The website traffic might be telling us that there's not a big market for this software. And if it's already full of resellers, it could be hard to make yourself stand out and make good money.
So if you were thinking about WASENDER, what are the most important questions you should be asking?
Well, the first thing is you got to do your research.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just rely on the fancy marketing stuff. Dig a little deeper. Look for reviews from real people.
Yeah.
Try to get a sense of what their experience was like.
Okay.
Really understand the effort that's actually involved in running this type of business.
And we can't forget about the technical side, right? Like,
Mhm.
we need to get into the nitty-gritty of the software
Yeah,
and see if it actually does what they say.
absolutely.
Okay, so we've just scratched the surface here.
Mm-hmm.
Uncovered a few intriguing things about this WASENDER Mexico.
Right.
We've seen their big promises,
Yeah,
but now we got to go deeper.
for sure.
Are you ready to dive into those technical features and really dissect this software?
Do it.
All right, let's go. All right, so we've talked about the big promises, but I want to know, how how does this software actually do it? Let's get into those technical features.
Yeah, it's time to look under the hood.
Okay.
See what's making this thing tick.
All right.
We already mentioned that contact grabber.
Right.
Seems to be their big selling point.
Yeah.
It's the one they really highlight in all the marketing.
The idea that it can pull contact info off of Google Maps is kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah.
How does that even work?
Right.
It's like something out of a spy movie.
Well, it's not as dramatic as Hollywood would make it seem,
Right.
but it does raise some questions
Yeah.
about data access and privacy.
Of course.
Technically, the software could be using like web scraping
Okay.
to pull that information from public sources.
Oh, so it's like scanning websites and pulling out phone numbers, email addresses.
Exactly.
That's pretty impressive,
Yeah.
but also kind of scary.
Right, and that's where the ethics come in.
Yeah.
Just because you can scrape data doesn't mean you should.
Right.
You really got to think about what it means to use this type of technology, especially when you're dealing with people's personal information.
Especially since WASENDER is supposed to work within WhatsApp.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about automating messages and building chatbots.
Right.
Which sounds great for businesses,
Yeah.
but you can see how it could be misused.
Of course.
What if someone starts spamming people
Exactly.
with messages or collecting data without their consent?
Right.
Like, how do we know that's not happening?
Well, those are valid concerns.
Yeah.
WhatsApp has its own rules.
Right.
Terms of service and privacy policies.
Of course.
So you got to be aware of the risks.
Yeah.
If you're using a tool like WASENDER, you better make sure it's playing by the rules.
Right.
Otherwise, you could get your account flagged or even banned.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's not just about being ethical.
Right.
It's about understanding the law.
Exactly.
You could actually lose your WhatsApp account.
Yeah. And for some businesses that rely on WhatsApp, that could be a huge problem.
Totally.
And it's not just WhatsApp's rules either.
Right.
You've got these broader data privacy laws like GDPR.
Mm.
If WASENDER is scraping data without people's permission,
Yeah.
that could lead to some serious legal
For
problems.
both the users and the company.
Exactly.
Man, this is starting to feel like a lot more than we bargained for.
Ah,
We started talking about easy money and passive income.
yeah, I know.
And now we're getting into some deep stuff.
Well, you're right. There's definitely a reason to be cautious.
Yeah.
Remember those big claims about 10x returns and making money instantly?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we got to look at those claims.
Right.
While keeping in mind all the risks and limitations we're finding.
It's so easy to get excited about all the possibilities.
Yeah.
But we got to stay grounded
Keep a level head.
and analyze this thing objectively.
Absolutely.
Speaking of which, what about those other features they mentioned?
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about chatbots and bulk messaging.
Right.
Are those things as amazing as they're making them sound?
Well, chatbots and bulk messaging, those are pretty common features. For these marketing automation tools,
Yeah.
it's not really groundbreaking technology.
Gotcha.
What really matters is how well it actually works.
Okay.
And how well it's built into the software.
So it's not just about having the features.
Right.
It's about how they're used.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think of it like this. You can have a really fancy sports car,
Okay.
but that doesn't make you a good driver.
Right.
You still got to know how to handle the car and drive it properly.
I like that analogy.
Yeah, and the same goes for these marketing tools.
Okay.
Just because WASENDER has chatbots and bulk messaging
Right.
doesn't mean it's going to magically transform your business.
Yeah.
There's still a learning curve,
Mm-hmm.
and you need a good marketing plan to make it work.
So you're saying it's not as simple as they make it sound?
Right. A lot of times the marketing can be misleading.
Yeah.
They make it seem super easy. Anyone can do it.
Yeah. Push button, get rich.
Exactly. But the truth is, running a business is almost never that simple.
Right. It's always more complicated than it looks.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
Dig a little deeper, look at the details, and help you make smart decisions.
So we've looked at the contact grabber,
Mm-hmm.
talked about the ethical and legal stuff.
Yeah.
We've also talked about the chatbots and bulk messaging
Right.
and how you got to be strategic with those features.
Mm-hmm.
What else about WASENDER's technology should we be looking at?
Well, one thing people often forget about is the technical side.
Okay.
Like, how reliable is the software?
Right.
What if you run into problems?
Oh, yeah.
Do they have a good support team?
That's a really good point. This software is supposed to help you run your business.
Exactly.
So it better be reliable.
Right.
What about security?
Yeah, how secure is the platform?
Yeah.
How do they protect user data? Those are great questions.
Yeah.
And they're really important for any software, especially one that handles sensitive information like customer contacts.
For sure. We got to look into their security protocols.
Yeah, their data encryption, how they're handling all that.
Yeah. Man, it's like we're detectives.
I know, right?
We're piecing together clues, uncovering all this complexity.
That's the fun part of a deep dive.
Yeah.
We're going beyond the surface, really trying to understand what's going on,
Hmm.
and hopefully helping you make better decisions.
Okay, so what's the next step in our investigation? Where do we go from here?
Well, now that we've looked at the features and talked about the potential risks,
Yeah.
it's time to focus on the business model itself.
Okay.
Let's take a closer look at that reseller structure they're promoting.
All right.
See if it really holds up.
Already. Let's dig into that. All right, so we've spent some time digging into the tech behind WASENDER Mexico, but I'm really curious about the business side of things.
Yeah.
You know, they're really pushing this reseller model.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of feels like that's their main thing.
Yeah, you're right. The reseller model is front and center in their marketing.
Yeah.
It's like they're saying, hey, don't just use the software, sell it and get rich.
Right, exactly.
But, we got to look past the sales pitch. Ask the tough question.
Like, is it even realistic to make money selling this software?
Right.
They keep saying 100% profit margins.
Yeah.
That just sounds too good to be true.
It's definitely a red flag. And remember, we saw earlier that their website traffic is really low,
Yeah.
which could mean there's not a huge market for this.
Right. Right. If everybody's out there reselling WASENDER,
Right.
it's going to be hard to stand out,
Exactly.
find customers.
And you got to think about saturation, too.
Right.
If it's so easy to become a reseller
Yeah.
and everyone's doing it,
Yeah.
the competition is going to be tough.
It's like
Yeah.
what's that, like the food truck thing? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone's selling gourmet tacos all of a sudden, and
Right.
then it's harder to make money.
That's a great analogy. The market can only handle so many resellers
Right.
before it gets oversaturated.
Right. And then you're not just competing with other WASENDER people.
Right.
You're competing with everybody
Exactly.
who's doing similar stuff.
And speaking of competition, we haven't really talked about that.
We haven't. What are the alternatives to WASENDER? Are there other companies out there?
Oh, yeah. There are tons of other marketing automation tools out there. Some of them are
Excellent.
specifically for WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Some of them are more general.
Okay.
It's really important to do your research.
Yeah.
Look at all the different options.
Right. Compare them.
Exactly, before you decide to invest in anything.
And when you're doing that research,
Yeah.
don't just focus on the features.
Right.
You got to think about price, support, security.
Exactly. The company's reputation.
Yeah, don't just jump at the first shiny thing you see.
Exactly. You're not just buying software.
Right.
You're starting a relationship.
Yeah, business relationship.
You want a company that's going to be there for you,
Right.
give you support.
Keep up with the times.
Exactly.
So we've got this reseller model.
Mm.
We've got potential saturation.
Right.
We've got competition.
Yeah. What other questions should we be asking?
Yeah, about this business model.
Well, one big question is, how sustainable is this whole thing?
Okay.
Are they just relying on resellers for money?
Mm-hmm.
Or do they have other sources of income?
Oh, right.
Usually a company with multiple income streams is a better bet.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And what about their long-term vision? Are they trying to improve their software?
Yeah, are they innovating?
Yeah. Are they just riding this wave and hoping it doesn't crash?
Right, those are really important points. You want a company that's thinking ahead,
Yeah.
keeping up with technology.
Because if they're not,
Yeah,
they're going to fall behind.
exactly.
So taking all of this into account,
Mm-hmm.
what's the verdict on this WASENDER Mexico?
Right.
Is it legit? Is it a risky gamble or somewhere in between?
Well, it's hard to say for sure.
Yep.
Like any business, there are pros and cons.
Right.
It really depends on your situation,
Okay.
how much risk you're willing to take,
Mm.
and how much research you do.
Okay, so let's say someone was really interested in this.
Yeah.
What would you recommend they do before jumping in?
First thing, don't just trust what WasteSender tells you.
Okay.
Do your own research. Read reviews from other people.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to people who have actually used the software
Yeah.
in the reseller program.
Good advice. And don't forget to look at the numbers.
Right.
Make a realistic business plan.
Exactly. Figure out your costs, your potential income, your marketing strategy.
Okay.
Be honest with yourself about how much work it's really going to take.
No such thing as passive income without any work.
Exactly. And be careful about those promises that sound too good to be true.
Right. If it sounds too easy,
Yeah.
it probably is.
Probably is.
Okay, so to wrap things up,
Yeah.
we've taken a deep dive into WASENDER Mexico,
Mhm.
looked at their marketing promises,
Right.
dug into the tech behind the software,
The features.
analyzed their reseller business model,
Exactly.
uncovered some potential risks,
Yeah.
highlighted some key questions to think about.
It's all about making informed decisions
It's-
that align with your goals and your values.
And remember, the world of tech and business is always changing.
Mm.
What looks like a great opportunity today
Yeah,
might be gone tomorrow.
that's true.
Stay curious, stay informed,
Mm-hmm.
and always approach new ventures with a healthy dose of skepticism
Right.
and a willingness to learn.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And hey, if you ever find yourself with a pile of information that needs unpacking,
Yeah,
you know where to find us.
that's right.
We'll be here ready to dive deep and help you make sense of it all.